This is a podcast of 98FM's Dublin Talks. Remember, catch the show live Monday to Friday at 10 a.m.
98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
98FM.
This is something that I have a big issue with, and I want to know how you feel about it, ladies and gentlemen. It's about two-piece bikinis and children wearing two-piece bikinis. In today's news, two women have gone head-to-head, two mothers have gone head-to-head on Mumsnet, arguing over whether or not bikinis are ever suitable for children. One mother posted and said, "My 9-year-old is coming away on holidays with us this year and has asked for a two-piece bikini." And I thought to myself, no, just no. Children should not be put in bikinis. It's not clothing that is suitable. A bathing suit should be used until at least your teenage years, says this mother. And other mothers have gone to town on her, saying that she's a fuddy-duddy and that she needs to cop on. And now a debate has waged online about how young is too young for a two-piece bikini. Now, last week, what's her name with the big bazookas? Your woman.
Who?
Oh, what?
Oh, Jordan.
Oh,
Jordan.
big bazookas.
Yeah,
what's her name?
Jordan. She sounds nothing like that, but yeah, Jordan.
That was actually a perfect impersonation.
Go on anyway, what about Jordan?
Last week, or I think it was 2 weeks ago, Jordan, Katie Price, posted a photograph online of her daughter in a two-piece bikini, and she's only a child, and a lot of people were very unsettled by it. What's your opinion, Adrian, on two-piece bikinis for children?
Well, primarily girls, because it wouldn't be boys that would be wearing them.
Yes. Well,
they tend not to.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with them. I don't see why anybody would make a big deal of it. I don't see any reason at all. Would you have a problem with a young boy wearing a pair of togs?
Well, I have a big problem with it.
Sorry, do you have a problem with a boy wearing a pair of togs?
We're not talking about boys for the
No,
moment.
we are though. I don't see what the difference is. Boys wear togs. Or little swimming shorts.
So basically this mother...
What's the difference?
This 9-year-old asked her mother could she buy her a two-piece bikini before going on holidays, and the mother has refused and is now being called out over it and saying, you need to cop on and you need to get with the times.
I would agree. She needs to cop on. There's nothing wrong. Why do we make issues out of things like this?
I hate to see the sexualisation of...
give over. A bikini on a young girl is sexualisation. That's your dirty mind.
I don't have a dirty mind.
Well, why are you even thinking that way?
I don't have a dirty mind.
Why are you even mentioning that word?
What?
With regard to young kids.
Because people are sexualising young kids nowadays. We're making kids...
A bikini on a little girl is not sexualising her, for God's sake, no.
A two-piece bikini
in the snowflake generation, yes,
no,
it is.
I'm not a snowflake.
Yes, you are. Well, you're coming across as one.
In my opinion... And I'd love to hear from mothers on this, actually, because should men really have an opinion on
Absolutely.
it? I don't know.
Well, then don't be giving your opinion.
No, but this is my opinion. How do you feel about it if you're a mother or a father of a daughter? There's a text straight away. For God's sake, let kids be kids.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
She's agreeing with me, that text is.
No, let kids be kids. Stop making a deal over something like this. It's only strange if you look at it that way.
No, I don't agree with that at all.
It absolutely is.
Okay, to that person who texted in, we'll try and get them on the air. But how do you feel about that? 0877 98 98 98. Text us now. How young is too young for a bikini? Was this mother right to say no to her 9-year-old wearing a two-piece? Here's my main problem with it. I see a two-piece bikini as something for a woman, for a grown woman. It's, sexual is the wrong word for a two-piece bikini, but bikinis can be provocative. And I believe in that.
Really? Provocative on a woman with a big pair of boobs, maybe.
And I believe that children should remain children for as long as possible.
What has that got to do with wearing a bikini, though?
I don't think it's appropriate clothing for...
the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard you say. Honest to God.
Ask her Katie, who's a woman, how she feels.
Katie, bikinis on little girls? You'd want to be a freak to think anything of it. There you go.
Well, I think...
Okay, call us or text us right now on 0877 98 98 98. Better still, call us on 6797 981 and let's debate this one out in a second.
Jenny, well, I have you there. What do you think of two-piece bikinis on little girls?
Well, I have two girls myself.
What age are they?
4 and 13.
Okay, now
I don't allow the 13 to wear a two-piece.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted.
I think when she's maybe 16, yeah, no problem. But younger than that, I personally wouldn't allow it.
You know, Jenny, I'm delighted that you've come on to back me up. Because, when I say things sometimes on the radio, I feel like I'm alone. And you, as a mother, you're more.
Well, let me ask you, Jenny, why don't you? Why don't you?
She just said.
I just think it's a bit ridiculous having bikinis on kids when they're still kids.
Yep.
There's no reason for them to be wearing them.
I saw a picture, as I said, and I don't want to pick on Katie Price, but I saw a picture of Katie Price's daughter. I don't know what age she is. I'll have to find out what age she is. But she is old beyond her years. She is like a little woman. She has makeup on and she's wearing a bikini and stuff like that. And
yeah, she's about 12 or 13, I think.
And she's only a little girl. What's the daughter's name even? Princess is her name.
What about her? So she's in a bikini?
Yeah. And she has makeup on and she has hair.
No, that's different. Now you're getting into different territory.
Okay, I'm going to show Adrian the photograph now that she put up of her daughter, okay? So what age did you say her daughter is, Jenny?
She's about 12 or 13 as far as I know.
Okay, let's show Adrian the photograph and let's see if he changes his mind. There's a photograph she took of her daughter on the beach, Adrian.
I know, that's...
Oh, there we go. There we go. When you see... No.
Hang on
when you see a photograph of it all changes now.
It's because of the pose and all that. No, stop. That's a completely different ballgame.
No.
No, I have a problem with that. That kid is posing provocatively.
That's your sick mind.
No, I have a problem with the way that kid is posing in that photograph.
Jenny, let me ask you again.
I don't want to talk about that child.
No, I'm not talking about that. As a mother, Jenny, of a 13-year-old girl, I assume you're under pressure by her to buy her a two-piece bikini, are you?
She's not looking for one, no. She's no interest in it, but I wouldn't agree with it in the first place.
It just baffles me. It absolutely baffles me that people would make a deal of it. Wayne, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Wayne?
Good, thanks.
Now, Wayne, what's your view on this?
I think Jeremy's been totally ridiculous, and I'm with you on that, Adrian. I think you can't mollycoddle kids when they've got a bikini on them. What are you going to do when you're bringing them abroad on holidays? You're going to wrap them up in cotton wool and say, look, go on, you can't go for a swim because, if you're wearing a two-piece bathing suit, people are going to be looking at you. So I think Jeremy's been totally ridiculous.
No, but by its very nature, Wayne, and are you a father of young girls, yeah?
No, I'm not.
There we go. But then you're not really entitled to an opinion.
Nor are you.
That's totally ridiculous. You can't go and say because you're not a father, you don't have a child, you can't have an opinion.
Yeah. Well,
Jeremy, you don't have a young daughter either.
Wayne, I don't think you are entitled to an opinion, to be honest, because you don't have children.
Because his opinion doesn't agree with yours.
No,
don't be so ridiculous.
Your opinion is invalid, Wayne.
But yours is invalid as well. You don't have a little girl. So there you go. So don't start throwing that one around. That's ridiculous.
Wayne, when you think of a two-piece bikini, well, when I think of a two-piece bikini, I think of a model on a catwalk, a Victoria's Secret model. I don't think of an 8-year-old child. And I think, do you not agree that children are being sexualised at a very young age nowadays?
I think children have been sexualised only if you're one of those who is going to go around thinking like that.
No, that's ridiculous. So if that's the case, then. If it's just a piece of clothing, then, Wayne, is it appropriate for an 8-year-old then to wear a thong? No, answer. No, it's not a completely different.
No, it's two different subjects. Well, it's not two different subjects, but you're on about a tongue and you're on about a two-piece bathing suit.
No, answer the question. Is it appropriate for a parent to buy their 8-year-old thong underwear?
I'm not saying it's inappropriate to buy it or not to buy it, but buying it and wearing it is two different things altogether.
Well, you'd only wear it you'd only buy it if you're going to wear it.
The point that he's trying to make is you're making a mountain out of a molehill here.
Hey, Wayne, I just want you to answer the question. Is it appropriate for an 8-year-old to wear a thong?
See, you're stereotyping it then.
And again, Jeremy, you're taking this conversation in a completely different direction.
Just want a yes/no answer.
No, you're taking it in a completely different direction.
A tongue and two-piece are told two different things altogether.
Absolutely, I agree.
But no, I'm just saying it's clothing. If clothing doesn't matter, then what's the difference?
Then what are you going to do when you bring your 8-year-old or 9-year-old on holidays and they want to go for swim into a swim pool? What are you going to say? Look here, you put on a jumper and a pair.
No. Children should be put in bathing suits. That's what they should wear. That is the appropriate, in my opinion, that is the appropriate clothing for a child. A bathing suit or a swimsuit, as it's called. Not a two-piece bikini. A two-piece bikini is for grown women. Why can people not get this into their head?
Says who? Okay, right. Hang on for 1 second. As kids, little boys and little girls are very similar. They've no boobies, all that, yeah?
Yeah, I get you.
So would you prefer a little girl to walk around in swimming togs like a boy? Would you?
What age are we talking?
Let's say 7.
A 7-year-old should be in a swimsuit. Bottom line, a one-piece swimsuit.
Boys should be as well, should they?
And no ifs or buts.
And boys should be as well.
No, but boys swim in togs.
You see, you're making no sense. You're making no sense Why should a girl of 7, who anatomically is the same as a boy, except for her genitals...
Because boys and girls are different, and that is...
And that's why little girls want to wear bikinis.
Well, they shouldn't.
Breda, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Breda?
Hello, Adrian. You're really getting on my last nerves today, really. I completely agree with Jeremy. I think it's completely inappropriate. I have 2 daughters, both of which will not be wearing a 2-piece bathing suit before they are at least 17. At least. They're 16 now and they will not be wearing one. While we are on family holidays, they never had them. They won't wear them as children, or they wouldn't wear them as children when I was around. I wouldn't let them. And they won't wear them even now. They're 16. They won't wear them until they are at least nearly 18.
Now, sorry, let me just address this point, because Alan just texted in and he said, regarding the thongs thing, he said, a thong is a sexy piece of clothing, says Alan. Alan, in your mind it is.
You're bringing something completely different into this conversation.
It's just a piece of underwear.
And just as you brought that young one's photograph into this conversation, that photograph is distasteful because she's
Jeremy,
posing.
You're right.
Thank you.
You're right. It is disgusting. It's inappropriate. There's no reason that a little girl should be showing her stomach or wearing something that is just supposed to cover the breast.
But it's okay for a little boy to show his stomach.
Adrian, 2-piece swimsuits. Why would you, if there is a 1-piece bathing suit, why would you buy a 2-piece?
Because
little girls want to be little girls.
No, you know why it is, Breda? It's because a lot of these parents nowadays, they want to be their daughter's best friend. They don't want to be the
Breda,
mother figure.
you just said little girls shouldn't be showing their stomach, but it's okay for little boys to show their stomach.
But I mean, if you go out on a sunny
but
day,
I mean nothing.
Sorry, hang on
but
a
I
second.
mean nothing. If you go to the Middle East, women have to cover everything up. Men don't. Now, this is the exact...
Children should not be wearing 2-piece bathing suits. It's that simple. They are a sexual item of clothing. People look at them. They are a mature, even, if you will, a mature item of clothing. Kids should not be wearing them.
I have to be honest with both of you. I have never heard anything as ridiculous and all.
Why feel the need to put your child's abdomen on display?
Would you put your child
again, Breda? No, again. I'm going to ask the question.
Calm
Breda,
down.
why is it okay for a little boy to show off his tummy?
Calm down.
Why on a sunny day when you go out to certain parts of the country will you see men walking around topless and not women?
Exactly.
It's because it's social acceptance, Adrian.
Adrian doesn't understand the term.
You're making a sexual matter out of something that is not in any way a sexual matter.
Adrian,
Paedophile, you can turn your stupid head against this, Adrian.
No.
Paedophiles exist.
You two, honest to God, I don't know what's after happening to you two today. You really have got the wrong end of the stick here. You're making an issue that isn't an issue. And that's what's really annoying me here.
Oh, but it is an issue.
It's not an issue.
It is an issue. As Breda said, there's a difference in the genders. There's a gender divide. There always has been a gender divide. And as she said, if a man is sitting in Stephen's Green Park on a sunny day with his top off, nobody bats an eyelid. Okay?
We're not talking about men.
No.
We're talking about kids here.
I'm just saying
children.
I'm just saying the difference between the genders. But if a woman were to do it, there'd be photographs in the front of the papers the next day. We live in a society...
Okay, I'm going to read a message then. This is exactly how I feel about this. Should boys not wear Speedo trunks then? Should they wear a 1-piece wetsuit so?
You're all getting very annoyed about this.
No, it's absolutely ridiculous. Making it an issue. You were talking about sexualising young kids. You're the one doing that.
No.
You're the one making this an issue.
I take
You're
offence
the one
to that.
even putting that thought into people's heads.
I take offence to that.
Here,
you don't need to put that thought in people's minds.
Before you came up with this conversation, I never looked at a little girl in a bikini and thought anything other than there's a little girl in a bikini. Now you're making people think differently, which is totally wrong.
Parents should think differently and they should realise that it's inappropriate and start buying...
It's not inappropriate.
Listen, to the women are listening. I'm looking at some of the messages coming in. Here's the bottom line nowadays, and we have what's called this new type of parent that's seeping into society, and a lot of you listening are that type of parent. You're the cool mum. You're the yummy mummy. You want to be the cool mummy. You want to be your little girl's best friend. You don't want to be the fuddy-duddy mother. But it is your job as a parent to protect your child and make sure they don't grow up too quick. Would you put your child
And sorry, hang on for 1 second, Jeremy. Putting a little 7-year-old girl in a little bikini is making her grow up too quickly. Will you get a grip of yourself?
You're the only person that disagrees with me.
I'm not. Francis, you're on 98 FM. Hiya, Francis.
How you doing, Adrian?
Francis, I think this is one of the most ridiculous conversations we have ever had because I don't see what the issue is here. I fail to see what the problem is here.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think Jeremy and Breda are just way off the scale. I think they're making and they're looking into it way more.
Francis, do you agree that children are growing up too quick nowadays, especially girls?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Sorry, Jeremy, since I was a kid, little girls wore bikinis. When I was a child. And that's not yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, but we're in a different age now, lads, where people have...
You see, you're bringing it...
You're the one
You're bringing it back now, Jeremy, to... you're sexualising the whole thing. It's a piece of clothing.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
but then again, so's the tongue a piece of clothing, Francis.
Okay, well, hold on a second. When you're in Spain or anywhere else, you see children, they're not so prudish and so caught up in what kids are wearing. It's an everyday occurrence to see a small child, running naked on the beach. Now, you may find that...
No, I have to say, I don't like that.
Oh, why?
I don't
Why,
like
though?
it.
I don't like...
What,
a totally naked child? No, I don't like seeing that.
Why, guys?
I don't like it, but having said that, is it because we're conditioned because of where we live? Europeans don't have the same hang-ups.
Yes, I actually agree. I was in France a couple of years ago, and there was a mother and a daughter walking along the beach, and the kid had nothing on. Now, I didn't like to see that, but if that's what that parent wanted to do, fine, that's her business. I do agree with you. Europeans are much more relaxed than we are.
But again, Francis, and I'm the least uptight person. I'm very an open-minded person. But I asked you the same question, Francis, and you haven't been able to answer the question.
Right? No, you haven't asked me a question.
But the question was, you said a bikini is just a piece of clothing, okay?
Correct.
That's what you said. So
no.
You did
right,
say
go
that.
on, carry on.
So then I asked you, is it okay for an 8-year-old to wear a thong, which is also...
No, that's a different conversation.
It's just a piece of clothing.
Jeremy,
it's a different
barely...
issue, but what you're doing is you are now sexualising it. That's exactly what you're doing now by...
I tell you what I'm going to do.
So by trying to protect children, I'm sexualising it, Francis?
Yeah, I think so.
Nobody puts a tongue on
a little girl.
Child.
Yeah, exactly. Francis, stay there for 1 second, because I'm going to do a Dublin Talks text poll. And here's the simple question. It's a simple yes or no answer. Okay? And my question is, and I'm going to just use an 8-year-old girl as an example. Just a random age, okay? Is it okay for an 8-year-old girl to wear a 2-piece bikini?
On holidays. Or in a swimming pool or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. Yeah. Text, not by WhatsApp, just by text, please. Text yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. I think this poll will prove that you're way out there and you're completely off the mark, Jeremy. So here's my question. An 8-year-old girl, just as a sample age, is it okay for an 8-year-old girl to wear a 2-piece swimsuit? Text the word yes or the word no to 0877 98 98 98. Simply text yes or no to 0877 98 98 98.
And what are you saying now to prove that nobody agrees with me?
Correct, yes.
I think the vast majority of sane mothers...
We'll see in a second. I find it just disgusting that you would in any way associate a kid wearing a bikini with anything sexual at all. So it's kind of perverted, to be quite honest with you, to even think that way.
Sorry.
It is perverted to even think that way.
Don't dare address me as a pervert.
I think it's perverted to even
You're
think that way.
You're calling me a pervert because...
Hang on for 1 second. I was at I was on holidays a couple of weeks ago beside a swimming pool. I couldn't tell you what girls had swimsuits and what girls had bikinis because I didn't even look at them. Okay?
Very seriously, I want you to stop for a second. I want you to take back that comment and apologise.
I think it's perverted to be thinking that way.
I want you to take back that comment and apologise.
No. What are you going to do? Storm out of the studio like you always do?
No, you'll take back that comment before the end of this discussion. What I want to do before we go to more calls, because I know there's a huge reaction to this, I want to read out. I'm disgusted, by the way, by that. My stomach.
You are turning this into an issue that it isn't.
You've made my stomach churn. A blogger in the US, I was just looking up this a couple of minutes ago. A blogger in the US wrote a piece about this about a year ago, and here's what she said about bikinis on children. I'm just going to read out a small bit of it. Okay, bikinis do not pass modesty rules, because they are designed to show sexiness in a body. A bikini takes it to another level. In its small size, it has nothing to do with practicality. A bikini is meant to emphasise the breasts, hips and bare skin of a woman in a sexy way. That's the whole appeal of it, says this woman. And it's why men are such big fans of Sports Illustrated swimsuit magazines, isn't that right? The focus is on the sexualisation of the body and is not appropriate for young girls. That's not me saying that. That is a woman saying that, an American female blogger, on the inappropriateness of bikinis.
Okay, well, I asked a question.
But I'm being branded a pervert.
Hang on, I asked our listeners to vote on this, and the simple question was: is it okay for an 8-year-old girl to wear a 2-piece swimsuit? Here's the result. You've seen it yourself, Jeremy. 62% of our listeners said yes. 62% believe it is perfectly okay. There is no issue here.
I don't rate
38% said... Sorry, you saw how many votes came in.
But I don't accept it.
Really? So what's the point in doing polls on this show if you don't accept that is the opinion of our listeners? 62% said it's okay. 38% said no, but 62% said yes, it is perfectly okay for an 8-year-old girl to wear a 2-piece swimsuit. Jason, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Jason?
All right, Adrian.
Good, Jason. What do you want to say?
Well, Adrian, I can't believe you've been like this, to be honest with you. I think Jeremy's dead right. It's been proven over the last number of decades around the world. The upper echelons of society, they're all pedos. Most of them are pedos. Children have been abused left, right, and centre. They're in all industries: music industry, TV, the church.
No, Jason.
No, hold on.
Hang on for a second, Jason. All we have succeeded in doing in recent years is exposing these people.
Yeah.
They were able to hide it in the past. They were always there.
Okay, and the ones that are in the fashion industry that are making these clothes in the first place. And your mum was there going, that first fella that got on saying, "Oh, what you want to do? Wrap your kid up in cotton wool and woolly jumpers?" No, a 1-piece bathing suit. What's the point? What's the point?
Jason, I'll ask you again the same question I asked earlier on. What's the difference between a little girl and a little boy? A little boy.
You know the difference. The exact same difference. The exact same difference as a bloke sitting in Stephen's Green with no top on and a woman. Yeah. The exact same difference.
I said that to Adrian and he didn't grasp that analogy at all.
On an 8-year-old girl.
Just calm down.
An 8-year-old girl.
Calm down.
Hang on for 1 second, Jason. Yeah. An 8-year-old girl is anatomically the same as a boy, except for...
Not necessarily. Some kids develop quicker than other kids.
Very few at 8 now.
Well, very few at 8.
That's why, that's why I use the age 8. That's why I use the age 8.
Adrian, you have to understand that the gender.
So cover the girls up, but not the boys. So should we may as well be in Saudi Arabia. You're saying a 1-piece.
A 1-piece bathing suit.
Yeah, it covers up their whole chest. Little boys don't. Hang on.
Till they get to a certain age.
Little boys don't have to do that.
Yeah, well, the same reason.
We may as well be in Saudi Arabia. Cover up the girls and not the boys. Same difference, lads. Exact same difference.
Richie or Jason, how do you talk sense into someone like this, who branded me a pervert, by the way?
Because I think to make an issue of this is a bit perverted. I really do.
People that make clothes for those kids are perverted. People that make clothes that small for kids like that are perverted.
Here.
Well, here, 62% of our audience don't see a problem here.
Of course 62% they're brainwashed. Brainwashed by fashion.
And
brainwashed. Hang on.
And not only that, Jason, is it no wonder that we have so many underage people having sex in Ireland?
Lads, now you're really doing it. No, we're talking about an 8-year-old kid
here.
I'm telling you, what's this got to do with sex?
I'm talking about...
seriously.
Calm down for a start.
This has nothing to do with sex.
What I'm saying is that children nowadays are growing up too fast, and that is one of the results of
Jeremy, I grew up in the 70s and little girls wore bikinis. Okay?
I doubt that very much.
Yes, they did. And in fact, I got a text there a while ago.
No.
I can't believe... where's this one? Somebody a couple of minutes ago sent a text in saying basically that she grew up in the 70s. And where is this? Oh, yes. I have a photo of me in the 70s, aged 3, in a bikini, and did for most of my childhood in the garden and on holidays. It is not sexual in any way. In France and Spain, you will see local young girls in bikinis as the norm. A picture of Katie Price's daughter has to be separated to a child innocently being a child in a 2-piece swimsuit. Absolutely 100% agree with that.
I have a photograph.
Couldn't agree more.
I have a photograph from my bedroom of me as a 4-year-old on the Silver Strand Beach in Wicklow, completely naked, but different times, guys. Different times.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree at all. Danielle, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Danielle?
I'm good, how are you?
Danielle, 62% of our audience think it's okay for a little 8-year-old girl to wear a 2-piece swimsuit. What do you think?
I have a 5-year-old little girl. She'll be 6 in September, and I don't see an issue. She has never asked for one, but if she asked for one, I would get her one. And I'm not talking, like, when you say 2-piece bikini, it's covering the essentials, right? They don't have anything on top at that age, but they're covering the essentials. The only thing you're showing is their stomach, a little bit of their tummy, and a little bit of their back, and then their legs and arms are shown in a full swimsuit. Anyway,
according to these lads, a little girl should not show off her tummy. That's what I'm
hearing. But
like,
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what kids wear. Paedophiles are still out there at the end of the day. So you can't say, oh, because she had a swimsuit, she's going to be a victim. They don't care what clothes they're wearing. That's not the point. And the thing about a bikini, the essentials, it's different when you mention a thong. That goes in the middle of the
that's taking the conversation in a completely different direction.
Can I respond to that, Danielle? Can I respond to it? Because... and I don't mean any disrespect by this, but you come across to me as the type of mother that I was talking about a few minutes ago. You're your daughter's best friend. You're not her mother.
I'm not. I'm the type of mother that has an iPad for her child and lets them an hour a week because they're in school.
Jamie, how can you possibly make that comment when you don't even know this girl?
Can you let me speak for a second? Can you let me speak? Because you turned around a few minutes ago and you said that if your daughter, what age is she?
She's 5.
She's 5. She hasn't, but if she turned around and asked for a 2-piece bikini, you'd buy it for her. You'd say yes.
On her holidays, for her holidays.
Okay, let me speak. Danielle, be a mother for God's sake and say no to your children. Why are mothers?
I do say no to my kids. My child is my child first. And if I have to put the foot down and not be the one that has to say no, which I say no plenty of times.
Well, let her be a girl. Let her be a child,
She's a girl and a child. She's been covered.
And because she's a girl, she needs her stomach covered up. If she was a boy, she wouldn't. Okay, that's the logic I'm hearing from you.
If she asks you for a pair of heels, will you buy her a pair of heels?
No, you're getting silly again.
No, it's not. It's like girls have heels. Go to Smith's. They're little princess heels that you can buy for when they're wearing their Elsa dresses or whatever.
I'm
There's a difference
all
between
I can say is I'm glad you don't have a girl.
Stripper shoes. Do you know what I mean?
No,
that's what
honestly,
I'm trying to say.
We'll get burkinis for the girls now.
Danielle, just
head to toe.
Just
Richie, last call on this. What do you want to say, Richie? In 10 seconds.
Absolutely no way I'd let my 8-year-old and 11-year-old wear 2-piece bikini. Absolutely no way.
And that's your right as a father.
Yeah.
That's your right as a father. I'm not denying any parent's right. I'm not denying any parent's right to make that decision.
Okay.
I just think it's making a mountain out of a molehill.
Wrap it up. Apologise for saying it was perverted.
62%, I think, making an issue of it is. Yeah, I do. I'm sorry for that.
Take great
this is 98fm's Dublin Talks.
The show getting Dublin talking.
Every morning from 10.
Adrian Kennedy.
Dublin Talks on 98.